I'm Euihark Lee. I'm Associate Director of Packaging Engineering Program, also Assistant Professor. As an Assistant Professor, I joined Packaging Program 6 years ago, and then I fully enjoy my position from there. Yeah, actually, more recently, my research background is more likely structure optimization. But more recently, my research is focusing some origami application into the packaging field. So I'm focusing to design some origami pattern that can serve as a cushioning material for the packaging. So we can replace those styrofoam cushioning and then use a paper for through the origami pattern. Actually, it actually kind of solved one of my burden when I'm doing the drop testing, because we do some drop tests for our research. Also, we do some drop tests for the commercial testing service. But whenever, especially for a corner drop, like edge drops, sometimes it's kind of in my mind, it's kind of a question raised: is an angle is gonna be effect, something like that. But the DT-202 machine, definitely we can control some consistency of the drop directions. So hopefully that will kind of solve my burden. And then also, I think whenever we do the drop test, we just find out it's fail or pass. But to know what caused the problem, and then that time we really need to have a repeatability, like a consistency of the drop direction, something like that. And then definitely this DT-202 will help us to identify what caused a problem, what direction caused a problem. Especially for the a lighter packaging, even a face drop, actually the airflow kind of impact to the rotation during the drop. So definitely this one, you will just keep maintaining the one direction until right before the drop part. So definitely this will help us to see more detail or more consistent result, especially for the research or to find out the problem of the packaging. Yeah, as I mentioned, one of the research I'm going for is the cushioning of the origami, right? So I like to compare some cushioning function with the origami and the styrofoam cushioning, and then with DT-202, actually I can get some consistent, repeatable data compared to the just random regular drop test. I still kind of doubt this data is kind of the same condition. But this one kind of makes sure I have a same drop situation, and then from there I may be able to get some more reasonable data or more reliable data. Based on my knowledge, I never saw those type of drum machine. So some drum machine actually has some a handle on top, so they kind of fix it, and then you just insert your packaging, and then trying to maintain some a certain consistency of the drop situation, but it's have a lot of uncertainty over there. So while you put them in, so I think this machine will definitely give us some consistency and repeatability of the data for sure. I think it's because of I think more into the small electric companies, more cell phones or some some small external driver, a small electric appliance company. They definitely need to see what will be the safe drop height for their product without the packaging, also with the packaging. With the packaging, they are still small enough. Those type of applications is pretty sensitive for the dropping, because people carry on and then they will face a lot of drop, especially for the cell phone or a smartphone, something like that. So those companies definitely need it. Also cosmetic companies, and even some I can see some house good company, because many cases we drop from our countertop from the kitchen, something like that. So those type of company, definitely they should use this drop machines to see what will be the critical drop height from the consistent repeatable data. I think the bottom line is actually one thing I was really struggle was dose repeatability, because I think I mentioned before, but whenever I do the drop test, our current drop test just just to find out if this packaging is pass or fail. But always to see what caused the problem, I have some some desire to know what cause actually happens. More likely to find out the critical scenario or a worst case scenario. And with DT-202 definitely help us to find out the critical scenario or worst case scenario to identify the weakness of the product, weakness of the packaging. One thing I'd like to add is because I'm also giving a lecture for the packaging testing lab for our student, and then I asked them to write the report. And then their data is very fluctuating. So always they say it's because of the human error. And then the good thing about DT-202 is because we can get rid of this human error. So I don't have to see this human error comment from our student for sure. Definitely this one will use for our distribution lab courses. It's offering the spring semester. So hopefully I can have a better in-depth of the study from the student report after they use this machine.